Hello, welcome to the premiere of Priceless Properties, our real estate show on What's Up in LA channel. So before we get started, I want to make something clear. I'm not an expert in the real estate industry. In fact, I'm just like many of you, someone who is curious about the market and interested in learning more. That's why I'm so grateful to have Gloria Castellanos and Jean-Baptiste, aka JB Ruggiero. Okay, we can see them now as the hosts of this show. They are two experts in the field with years of experience and a deep understanding of the nuances of the Los Angeles real estate market. So without any further ado, I would like to invite Gloria and JB to introduce themselves and share a bit more about the background and expertise in the industry.
Oh,
So
goodness.
please, Gloria.
We are doing this. Well, first of all, I'm like loving all these little gadgets that you got going on.
Yeah, we
like
can,
Well, I'm super excited to be a part of this show. I am like, this is a first for me, so let's see how this goes. Thank you for having me and inviting me to be a host and a part of
Very
this
welcome.
journey.
Thanks, Philippe.
Yes. So a little bit about me that maybe you didn't know, Philippe and JB. I mean, I've been in the business for over 23 years. And overall, I started in the lending side. I mean, I started from like the bottom, doing like telemarketing and being an assistant. However, the first large piece of my initial career was in the lending side, it was in the financing side. And so that taught me so much about, financing, what buyers and sellers need, how
Yeah, all the
qualified,
codes.
what's going to get you in the door. Because if you don't have money, you ain't getting a house. That's for sure. And as I built my career, when the market crashed back in 2008, having all of those lending contacts and banking contacts, I remember back then when we saw the last recession, I started getting phone calls of like, "Hey, Gloria, my payment went up, and what's a short sale? And my interest rate, I got a letter that my interest rate is going up. And what does this mean?" From one thing led to another. Long story short, I basically jumped into being an agent, but not just your traditional agent. I jumped into being a REO agent, representing all of the top banks and institutional clients and hedge funds.
So REO, what does it mean?
REO, it's basically foreclosure real estate owned properties.
Oh, okay.
And is basically people that couldn't make the payments, couldn't afford it, and the banks had to take it back. So I started basically traveling throughout the country, and instead of door knocking homes like your traditional agent would be, or cold calling individual homeowners, I started cold calling banks, and I started door knocking banks, and we would travel in different parts of the country and make appointments, and sometimes even show up at the lobby and have a confirmed appointment, and we would not be seen. So it's it wasn't a traditional real estate side. It was dealing with corporate clients, which taught me so much and gave me a ton of experience. Long story short, we started with an opportunity of representing one foreclosure, one led to 10 led to 50. Next thing you know, we were managing over 500 properties at any given time.
Wow.
And our best year, we sold almost 300 homes. And then having
300?
Very impressive.
What's home a day?
almost like one home a day. Yes,
And a few days to sleep, but
Oh gosh, I had no life during those years. It was like awful, but it gave me a lot of knowledge on the real estate side and a lot of experience, that's for sure. But it was also very heavy on my heart because I wasn't the good guy. I wasn't in those happy moments. I wasn't a part of those happy moments of these families. I was on the opposite side. I was the bad, the bad person delivering the bad news and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I gotta get the keys.
Yeah.
You gotta vacate."
Yeah,
So
there you have it.
that's not a fun. I mean, we love what we do, right? This is what we do.
We don't want to steal homes from owners.
Yeah, so that's how it felt. So it was very heavy on my heart. So I did that for until about 2013, and I was then burnt out. So I kind of quit the business right after that. I took a little bit of a break. I tried the
Because you
commercial.
were emotionally.
Emotionally,
Yeah.
physically. I mean, I was sharing with somebody yesterday. I mean, I was literally sick every January, like clockwork, every January, and would end up like, I mean, you could see it in my eyes. I mean, I'd be at the office from like 7 in the morning till like 1 in the morning. I had no life, my family, my friends, my partner all paid for it, So after that, I kind of took a little bit of a break. I started doing commercial. I didn't want to sell a house ever again in my life. I was like, no, no more, no open houses
Happens once or twice a year,
where you just want to quit.
Yeah.
Anyway, then after that, I just started doing some flips and trying different things. And wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy. I wasn't excited. I was missing something. And I remember one day just being in my office and going through the computer and seeing an article of an agent in my area listed a house for over $100 million. Never seen, ever.
100.
$100 million. And I was like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? There is somebody in my backyard that has a listing for $100 million. And I mean, at that time, it was unheard of. We sold the Playboy Mansion for over $100 million. Well, not us, but our boss, Mauricio Umansky. But we claim it because it's the agency, and it was a trophy sale for the agency, that's for sure. But at any rate, it was like something stirred back in my spirit. And I just said, and I'm just a go-getter. I like to challenge myself. I like to always be growing. And I was like, okay, if this person can have this listing for $100 million, so can I. And how are we going to do this? So that started the journey. I hired a coach in the luxury market, and I said, let's do this. And I remember my first meeting with him, and he's like, so you want to sell luxury homes, huh? And I'm like, yes, why not? Why not me? And that's my journey started in the luxury side. That's when I joined the agency in 2015, and here I am.
Yeah.
Cool.
And now we're in a podcast, Jamie.
Exactly.
Next level, man.
Next level.
Yeah. So that's a very impressive story. I like this kind of backgrounds, grinding, learning, all
we
the
do
good
it.
stuff, and so that's very cool.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Cool.
I haven't sold a $100 million house yet, but we're working on it, people. We're working on it.
So what about you, JB?
Yeah, I'm very happy to be here, Philippe. Thank you for having us.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, I've been in business for 21 years also. Broker in France for 10 years in the east of France. Then moved in LA in 2011. Was a broker for a small brokerage on the north side of LA in Glendale, La Cañada, La Crescenta area for 3 years.
Beautiful area.
Yeah, that was really cool. People are really nice over there.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then it's a long story, but I went on to move to Beverly Hills, started working for a famous French brokerage in Beverly Hills called Barnes International.
Yeah.
They were trying to develop the U.S. market, so they needed a French-American agent. So that was cool for close to 2 years. Then I joined the agency because I was watching those TV shows, like I was watching Maurizio
those
on
shows.
Desperate House, on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. They're also desperate, but... And so at that time, there was another show, Rich Kids of Beverly Hills. There was one of the agents from our office in that show.
$1 Million
and
Listing.
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely. So that show was awesome.
Yeah.
And I was telling my wife, like, I want to be on something like that. I want to work with those guys.
Yeah.
So this is what I did in 2015.
And the agency, it sounds like James Bond,
You manifested it too.
I state, man. It's we have secret powers, secret weapons.
Yeah,
Wow.
we do.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so that office is so awesome. So that was the good move.
Yeah, I love the company. I mean, 2015, I remember it was only 2 offices back then.
Yeah, it was the beginning.
Yeah, and to see like where the company has grown, and I mean, very
Okay.
grateful because
Yeah,
got to meet you as a friend.
me too. Good to meet you as a
And
friend.
then, but also you deal with a lot of international clients, and
Yeah.
you know, a lot of like Chinese, a lot of Europeans, and
So yeah,
you know, you used to sell some crazy high-rise buildings and developments.
that's
Like,
the crazy part of my career. It's that in 2016 I went on to work for a Chinese Australian. It's a long crazy story, so I'll just keep it super short. Like I went on to work for that Chinese Australian company based in China, and I started as their U.S. general manager. They hired me to boost sales inside China of U.S. properties.
Yeah.
And so my first year, we just built a crazy system. And second year, my team and I, we sold 100 homes, 15 Irvine and around 15 Orlando to our China clients. So we sold. It was lower price points. It was in the $1 million range for LA, and in the $300,000 to $500,000 range for Orlando, and we sold over 100 properties, over 100 mil
that's
in
impressive.
9 months with a team of agents in China who've never been to America. Most of them didn't speak English.
I
I
mean,
trained all of them one by one, like for 2
You
years.
speak Chinese?
I took a year of one-on-one.
Oh, yeah?
I used to speak a little bit. I kind of lost it, but anyway, that was a
That's-
cool.
that's really I
Okay,
mean,
cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I think Philippe, if you wanna.
Like, stop talking, guys. Enough of yourselves.
so now we know you a little bit better.
Yeah.
What we gonna talk about this during this show?
That I'm super excited because this is like stuff that I'm passionate about. I love talking about our city, like the beautiful LA areas. So going forward, I guess, you know, like our initial plan, right, guys? It's going to be talking anything and everything connected to Los Angeles real estate.
Yeah.
Local market trends and conditions, you know, buying a home for the first time, tips for sellers, tips for buyers, how to sell a home quickly. I mean, we are in a crazy market right now.
Yeah.
And so many people have so many questions. It's very volatile. And we want to be that guide. We want to be that resource. We want to be that voice. And this is why we're planning on doing this on a weekly basis because things are changing so rapidly. So we want to share everything about home design and some fun stuff like celebrity properties and some of like these amazing trophy properties that JB and I get to not only represent but also get to preview and see on behalf of our clients that we have access to. So that's pretty incredible. That's some of the stuff I'm excited about. How about you?
Same. Philippe, you wanna?
No. I just want to say, people can interact with us because there is a chat. They can send us messages. We'll see the message, and we have two experts here. So do not
Yes.
hesitate. Ask any question you want about real estate, of course.
Yeah, we'll share everything we can share. We'll
Oh,
go
and
as far as we can.
also, we're going to have like different types of guests
Yeah.
every single week, just talking about all of these really cool different topics. But every week, without fail, we're also going to be having a mortgage update because right now that is so important with the market and the interest rates and the Feds raising the rates. People think that affects the mortgage rates, and in a little bit, we're going to have one of our preferred in-house lenders who is amazing, Steve Mays.
Yes.
And an incredible expert and
Yeah.
veteran in the business that literally like everything you send him he like figures out a way to make it happen. So I'm really excited to see what he has to say about the rates and the market and how people can forecast getting qualified if they're looking to get qualified into purchasing a home. So excited.
Yeah, he'll be live with us in a few minutes.
Yeah.
We wanted to talk about the market in general first.
Yeah, and just to add something, we're gonna visit some big houses also. So we have some
Stick with us.
juicy video about
yeah, we
big
got-
house at a lot of millions of dollars that I'm not used to visit. So
we'll
For
finish
one of
it.
my favorite, one of my really top favorite architects and design company, Paul McLean. So, oof, yeah, can't wait. That property is something.
cool. So
Market update.
yeah,
So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the market update. You
Yeah,
wanna-
I mean, we're going to showcase a little bit of numbers, but just to so you guys know, we have a weekly office meeting at Beverly Hills in one of the most powerful office in the country. We get to learn from other agents, and we have updates from our colleagues, we have updates from the market, from our vendors, and those updates are really important and fancy. So we'll share those updates every week with you guys, the trend, what's happening, what do the agents feel is happening on the market, on the luxury, anything above 20, below 20, below 5. So just to give you an idea, this week we talked a lot about in our office meeting about what's happening below 5 million, for example, because I have a few buyers in that range right now, and it's painful. It's so crazy. There is no new properties on the market. There is still a lot of buyers out there. So my experience of the current local market for the last few weeks has been quite painful. We're trying to bid on the homes. I did bid on a house
Oh, yeah.
a month
We talked
ago, a $3 million house in Studio City Hills, and it ended up receiving 19 offers in 3 days. Last week, I did bid on a condo, $1 million condo in West LA for one of my clients. It ended up receiving 25 offers, all way above ask, of course, in both situations. Right now, it's kind of crazy what's happening in the smaller budget markets.
Yeah, huge contrast from the luxury
Exactly.
side to like entry level. Entry level, I'm seeing at any capacity in any marketplace. I think that's why it's important for people to have an understanding of like their micro local housing market. And today we're just going to do a little overview of like the whole LA area, but just like how you were experiencing like high multiple offers. I mean, it is drastic contrast right now. It's either you're seeing like crazy activity, multiple offers, or or you're seeing properties just stay on the market longer, lasting more days on market, seeing more price reductions, or no phone calls or no offers, which I'm personally experiencing in one of my listings on the higher end. So and what's interesting about this data, why don't we show
Yeah,
this
okay,
data
so
right now,
let me.
because a lot of people think that the market's going to crash.
And
So we've
yeah,
got some data. So which one?
And we are lacking inventory.
yeah, that's the key issue right now.
So
So that data that you see on the screen, it's for the city of LA, I believe. So it's not.
so which? Okay,
So this is for, if you could start at the top.
this is the top.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea, see, like the arrow here is basically, this is all LA area, just to summarize. We just entered the first quarter of Q1. This is the data for as of February of 2023. It is telling you that we're in a seller's market right now.
So we're still in a seller's
We are
market.
still in the seller's market with under 3 months of inventory. So there's just basically what that means. There's just not enough supply for the demand that we have as buyers,
Wow.
right? For buyers. Yeah. Where properties are lasting 22 days on the market on average. And your average median sold price is 1,250, which has gone up. Contrary to what people are thinking, that the market is going to go down.
That's
Right.
month over month. So it's just from last month to this month. So
I mean,
it's impressive what's happening. It was a little more quiet January, February, of course, because of the holidays, but now it's picking up again. So
yeah, spring market has picked up, and usually like the busiest time of the year, which is the spring market. However, we are not seeing the inventory that we thought we were going to see. We are still lacking inventory, which is that gives you the data at the top where it says it's under 3 months of inventory. And so it's all about condition, and entry level pricing is definitely flying off the shelf.
So yeah, what's probably one of the people own properties with low interest rates, mortgages on it, like 3%, 3.5%. So why would they sell to buy something at 6.5% right now?
Exactly.
So
So
they're sitting on their properties if they can't afford it, and there's just no new product on the market. For the high-end market, I think my opinion is very different because it's not about mortgage rates. It's more about the uncertainty on the market, and so the buyers of very expensive properties are just waiting to see what's going to happen. So that's why we have such a discrepancy between the high-end market and the entry market.
well, right now, unless you have to move, you're going to sell. Unless you are need to, basically make a change in your lifestyle. Otherwise, these sellers are gonna, a lot of them are staying put because of the rates. And one thing we'll ask Steve when he jumps on, because I had seen an article that, this is something common that you see in the commercial world, not so much on the residential side, but where you can assume the loan if if the lender allows you to, and you can take over that person's loan and rate, etc. So that would be. I'm curious to ask Steve that question because you do see it
So,
more on the commercial
so do you
side.
want to have Steve now? Or-
Let's bring him on. Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool. So let me introduce
Steve Mazes,
Steve.
Cross Country Mortgage.
Okay, hi Steve.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Steve.
Great to
Ah,
have
Oh,
we can't hear you. Do you have your microphone?
Let's see.
Can you guys hear me?
We can't hear you. So,
Cannot.
you're
wait a
muted,
minute.
Steve.
It's
Wait a minute.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay.
Wait, let me play with my new toy. Okay, I don't like that
At
one.
the meantime, Philippe,
How
can
do
you
I
put
unmute
that
myself?
graph back on the? It's okay. The one with the curves,
hold on one
the
second.
graph,
The one with the graph. So
the one with the 4 lines. Yeah, that one.
yeah.
So we can just add a little bit about that. That's the evolution of the median estimated value in America and in Los Angeles County, California, and Los Angeles City only. So just to give you an idea, the blue line is the city of Los Angeles. Over the past 15 years, the value basically went from 350K to close to 1.2 million, whereas in the rest of the country, and you look at the red one, it went from a little below 200K to close to 400K. So what that tells you is that if you want to invest in real estate in the U.S., Los Angeles City is the perfect place. Like it almost did times 5 on the value in 15 years.
Okay. So just to sorry, so it's technical. Can you speak, Steve, please? I just want to see if your microphone is on. Can you speak? You hear me, Steve?
I think we're having a little bit.
Okay. So I think your mic is off.
Somebody's saying that they can hear Steve on.
Because we can't hear him because your mic is off, Steve.
So if they can hear Steve,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think he's reconnecting.
Technical
This is
difficulties.
the first one. You know?
Yeah, hey,
Sure.
first
And
round.
so, Steve, can you try to speak if you listen to me?
And
Can you speak, Steve, please?
Yeah, I don't think he can hear us.
Can you hear us? Okay. You know what? I'm gonna try.
And just to share with you one of Steve's market update I got by email yesterday. Some of you may have heard about that down payment program from the state of California. That sounds amazing. It's basically free 20% down payment from the state to help you buy your first property.
Well, not free.
Not free. I mean, you paid back, but it helps you.
Nothing
a
that's
lot.
free.
And so if you haven't heard about that program, the state allocated roughly 300 mil
Yeah.
for it, and they estimated that it would help 2,300, roughly 2,300 families buy their first property. And what we did read this morning from that mortgage update is that the whole money is already gone in 5
God.
days.
God.
That's unbelievable. 5 days on, the whole money is gone. So that program is not available anymore. We haven't even had time to share it with some of our buyers. And so, but we also want to say that if for any of you that doesn't know about that, there are other programs, FHA programs, where you can buy up to 1.14 million property in LA County for as low as 5% down payment. So those programs are still very interesting. 5% down payment is not much.
5% down payment, you can, purchase up to 4 units, residential real estate,
Yeah.
as your primary residence, so, which is really, really cool. I was just at a conference yesterday, and they were giving incredible tips on how to advise also our clients and to utilize these programs to be able to buy investment properties, right? So, maybe you're not able to get into your dream home, maybe you're not able to get into a condo or a townhome, or but you can get into a one to 2 to 4 units with this program.
I think it's FHA owner occupant, right? You need to
Yes,
live
you
in one
do
of the
need to,
units.
you do need to live in the property.
It's a very interesting program. One of my clients used it 3-4 years ago.
But you get in the door, and JB
Exactly.
said somebody, it's paying your mortgage basically.
Exactly.
You rent the other units, and your mortgage is being paid for.
Yeah, he bought a very nice. I sold him a very nice duplex in mid-city area. It was 5 years ago, so it was less than $1 million at that time. It was 800 something. Yeah, you lived in one, renovated it, sold it for a super good profit a few years later. So
Yes.
yeah, FHA multi-unit loan to consider. If
And
guys
you
don't know
can,
about it.
partner up with your friend or family member, live in the property for 1 year, then switch it into a conventional, and then do it again. Purchase another one.
Okay, cool. So, guys,
What's
I
happening?
don't know what's happening with Steven. Steven, I'm really sorry, but we can't hear you. So,
Yeah, I guess.
maybe I don't know if you can call him, and maybe we'll hear
I can try.
his voice. Okay,
Let's try that.
let's try that. It's we are between us.
Leave a message and I'll call you
Okay,
right back.
Steve, can you
Uh, can you-
respond on your phone? But
Try again.
yeah, stay online.
Hi, JB.
Ah,
Hi, Steven. And I'm not sure if our guest can hear you from my microphone on the microphone.
I think so. You put
Oh,
your
okay, great. Let's do this.
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
But you
We
can
appro-
also be on a. No, not at the same time. You don't have a. It's okay. Let's go like this.
Let's go. So, Steven,
I'm ready.
yeah, you want to share with us what's the latest on the mortgage market?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for this opportunity. We are in the presence of two of the best realtors in Los Angeles, in JB and Gloria. Absolute agency real estate royalty. So your viewers are and listeners are very, very lucky. So my job is I am the in-house preferred mortgage lender for the agency, and I have been doing loans and mortgages for way too many years. So I have lots of information to focus on. The main factor for today is that interest rates are actually still historically low. There's a lot of skepticism and fear because they certainly have risen a lot. To Gloria's point, a lot of people had interest rates in the 2 or 3% just a couple of years ago, and they're sitting on those properties because they don't want to get rid of a 2% or 3% rate and then transfer over into a potential 5 or even 6% rate. But if you look back historically, interest rates used to be 7, 8, 9, even 10%, and this is still a good opportunity for a buyer to get a decent interest rate. And the main thing that I stress with buyers, if you're listening and you're scared, is that rental rates are also getting very high. And most mortgage experts are predicting that once inflation gets under control, that interest rates will drop further from what they are today. So what we preach to our clients, there's an expression about marrying the house and dating the interest rate, because you can always do what's called a refinance. If you purchase a home today, for your viewers, most viewers are familiar with the concept, but it's very straightforward. A refinance of a mortgage is simply where we take your existing loan at, let's say it's 6%, and if the rate has dropped to 5.5% today, we can refinance you, and that is your new rate for your house going forward. But the good news for you as a buyer is that with JB and Gloria's help, have been able to get a great deal on a purchase. So now you have the best of both worlds. You own a property that's going to be appreciating in value, and because rates have dropped, you're now the beneficiary of a lower interest rate. So you get the best of both worlds.
Steve, I just want to
Yes, sir.
mention for some of our viewers that may not know the U.S. system, because I have a lot of French and foreign clients. Most people
Okay.
don't realize there's the flexibility of the mortgage system is unique in America in that sense. You can refi very easily, whereas in most other countries, including Europe, you can't do that. It's so heavy to refinance in Europe. There's a ton of fees. It takes forever. In America, you can refinance in a couple weeks for so cheap compared to other countries. So I just wanted to mention that.
And
Yeah, that's a very good point. So in the United States, I have a lot of clients that when rates were dropping a couple of years ago, were serial refinancers because, as JP just mentioned, it's not that expensive and it's not that painful. It's just basically resubmitting the documents that you used to qualify for the loan the first time. We typically just have to get a new appraisal of the property, and then, wow, just like that, you have a lower interest rate and a lower payment. So that's one of the major benefits of the U.S. banking system is the ability to refinance. The other major benefit, if you have some uh, buyers who are waiting on the sidelines, is the government has many programs for low down payments. So, for example, in Los Angeles County, you can purchase a property for 1.5 million and put down as little as 5%. That's astounding. Just 3 or 4 years ago, the max purchase price for 5% was 750,000. Now it's close to 1.2 million. So one of the biggest impediments for buyers is having enough money for the down payment.
Yeah.
So if you have the ability, if you qualify for the loan, to get a 5% down program for a property over $1 million, that's extraordinary.
Yeah.
So it's really go ahead, JP.
Sorry, I see Philippe has a question.
No. Go ahead.
We're good? Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Stephen.
no,
So there are some whenever I speak to buyers, and I speak with obviously the agencies, the premier real estate firm in the country and across the globe, so there's lots of buyers who have good questions. We always focus on two things. One is, do we think the property they're buying is going to go up in value? And Gloria is the queen of statistics. She knows that if you look at month and year to year statistics for housing prices, typically it's gone up almost every single year for the last 20 years. Mm-hmm. There's no other investment that has the same potential return.
nobody ever
Bonds.
says, I regret selling a house 20 years ago, right?
Yep, exactly. I mean, the house that I'm sitting in here now, as we speak, has probably tripled in value.
I used to use some statistics for the China market, and I can tell you it goes back to over 70 years. It's not just 20. For the past 70 years, property values has doubled every 15 years, nonstop, whatever happens.
Wow.
No matter what happens.
Yeah, so it's an astonishing asset, and plus the government, as for your U.S. Buyers, gives you a very significant tax break when you buy a home. Mm-hmm. There's what's called the mortgage interest tax deduction, which means that when you buy a home, all of the interest that you pay on your mortgage up to $750,000 is tax deductible to you. Mm-hmm. There's no other program in the universe, no other investment that gives you such a huge tax benefit. Yeah. So the government wants you to buy properties. So you have the opportunity to buy a property that, as JB and Gloria just said, can potentially go up in value. You can put down a low down payment. You can get the benefit of the tax deduction. And as JP said, you also have the opportunity to refinance into a lower rate if rates drop. So there's really no other investment like that in the world. And you're your own boss. You own your own property. You can fix it up any way you want. And
you
typically,
have total control.
Yeah, Yeah, you have control over it. You get the, I always talk about the joy of home ownership, and it really matters because when you put your head down at night, are you going to be happy where you're living? As opposed to have written a check for $3,000 to $5,000 to a landlord who hates you. So you might as well like the person who owns your property if it's the person looking at you in the mirror.
Exactly.
So there's lots and lots of ways for great realtors like JB and Gloria to get you into a property. I'm very good at qualifying people who don't have traditional income. It's actually, maybe for another topic,
Yeah,
but there's,
exactly.
there's
I
lots
think-
of ways to qualify.
Yeah, we'll use that for another topic. Like Gloria, you want to mention?
Yeah,
something?
I wanted to just for our audience because it's a very big question that people have right now. When people see the Fed say, we are raising the rates, like the last hike that we had for a quarter of a point, Steve, and then and it actually did the opposite for mortgage rates. So can we talk a little bit about that so the audience can
Yeah.
have an understanding of not when. So when you hear the Fed say we're raising the rates, it doesn't mean that at the same time, which you do in some occasions, right? But it doesn't go basically together with the mortgage rates.
Yeah, that's very brilliant. So what happened is a few weeks ago, you heard the news stories about the Fed raising the rate by a quarter point. The reality is that interest rates since that date have dropped by almost what's called 30 to 40 basis points. So I'll repeat that. The Fed raised the rates a few weeks ago, excuse me, but interest rates have dropped dramatically over the last 3 to 4 weeks. To Gloria's point, what happens, the Fed is raising the interest rates because they are trying to get inflation under control. Inflation is the key factor that influences mortgage rates. And the reason they're raising it is they're trying to get inflation under control. And it seems to be working because the inflation statistics have gotten a little bit better. And as a result, mortgage rates today are significantly lower than they were just 3 weeks ago when the Fed raised the rates.
That's great news for
So-
our clients. We love it.
Yep. Yeah, interest rates right now, as we speak on yesterday, interest rates dropped to the lowest level in the last 5 months yesterday.
So what's the
So-
rate today for jumbo and traditional?
Sure.
And explain maybe what the loan amounts of a jumbo is and then conventional.
Yep. So in Los Angeles, there's this weird number. It's $1,089,000. Any loan amount below that is considered what's called conforming. If your loan amount is above it, your interest rate is what's called jumbo. Paradoxically, the interest rates on jumbo loans right now are better than on conforming or non-jumbo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We locked somebody. Yeah, most people don't know that. We recently had a buyer purchasing a house for $2 million, putting 20% down, and through one of my private banking contacts, we were able to lock that person at 5.125%.
I mean, that's great. That's super low for what we've seen lately.
Insanely low. And if you're below that, if you're below the 108.9, I lock somebody today at 5.75%, which is still spectacular. So the news reports about rates being 7 are false. If you have a good mortgage professional, which I think I am, my job is to be your secret shopper.
Find
and
the
you
opportunity.
best rates out there.
And Steve, as things are changing so rapidly right now, where do you see buyers, like what is the mistake that you're seeing like buyers do today? Like what are you seeing?
Yeah. The major mistake, there's 2 major mistakes buyers, and if you're listening to this, you're getting some great information from Gloria and JB. The number one mistake is that if you're even thinking about buying something in the next 3, 5, 6 months, you have to get pre-approved for the loan up front. I'll repeat that. You have to get approved for the loan up front because you may not qualify for the loan. You have to have decent tax returns or bank statements or credit. And the last thing you want is to drive in Gloria and see the house of your dreams and make an offer, and then it turns out I can't get you the loan.
Yeah, you get do it all
So-
backwards. And not only that, Steve, like with things changing so rapidly, I would argue that even if you have an approval today and you're and you got it last week or you got it yesterday, I at the moment that you're making an offer, I think another like conversation needs to be had with your lender to be able to make sure that you still qualify. Let you communicate. This is the offer that I want to make. Is everything still look the same? Has there been any changes from yesterday to today? Because things are changing so fast.
Yeah, 100%.
I could not agree more. It's brilliant advice because, with the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature and the problems First Republic having, a lot of banks are tightening up their qualification procedures.
Yeah.
And when you apply for a loan, believe it or not, some people lose their jobs. Some people go out and buy Maseratis. Some people lose all their money to crypto in the stock market. I've seen crazy things, and it's some people's credit. One of the major things we see is people's credit scores get crushed for something simple like not paying a credit card bill on time or getting a medical collection.
Yeah.
Things
And overall
can go wrong.
communication. As you go through this process, it's so important to be in constant communication with your lender, with your agent on any changes that are happening, not only in your financial status and your job, any purchases that you're thinking about making, any payments also. Like if you're thinking about also making a huge payment on a credit card, that can also change things. So constant communication is key right now as we navigate through these times with your lender and your agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the other thing that comes up in terms of communication is that the loan programs change daily. Gloria and JP, I spoke in front of your office a few days ago about that special California property program
Oh,
where
which
the
is
government
gone.
was giving a free 20%. I don't know if you saw my
Not
announcement this
free.
morning. They ran out of money this morning.
Yeah, we saw that. We saw your update. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That program is gone. But 2,300 families moved quickly, got into contract, and are now benefiting from that special program. If you were in communication with your loan officer, you may have known about it, and you could have made it an offer and possibly gotten that program. JP, for your buyers in specific, there are a lot of programs that deal with foreign nationals. Gloria, I know you deal with certain buyers in the entertainment who are self-employed.
Yeah.
Where
a
you
lot
can
of
possibly show bank statements to qualify. We even have loan programs, as crazy as it sounds, that are literally no income verification. We just closed a deal the other day for $1 million purchase, 20% down. The guy, I'm not exaggerating, did not have a job. And we were able to get that person
the
a loan.
options are still there, although we see in any type of changing market, especially as the talks and recession and changes and these banks going out of business and things like that, it's a lot to consider.
Yeah, I think that mortgage portion of our show needs to happen
Every week.
over and over because there's so much good information that we can get from Steve and from the mortgage industry. Like our clients we all need a lot of education about that. So love it. Thank
you, Steve, so
Awesome.
much for joining us
Okay,
today.
my pleasure.
Yeah. And sorry for the technical issue,
We'll
but
figure it out next time.
we'll have you next time. Yeah, I
it's
hope
okay.
so.
Thank you,
Okay,
Steve.
cool.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Whoever's listening, those are two fantastic realtors staring at you right now. So you guys are very lucky.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
Yes. I
All
know.
right, we'll
we'll
see you
see you
soon in
next
the
time.
office. Yes.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Steve.
Thanks, Gloria.
Adios.
Thanks, JP.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cool.
Ooh, so much, there's
Yeah,
so
wow.
much to learn. I mean, we couldn't do it in those few minutes, but man, it's a lot of information. But like I said, it's just, I mean, right now we are just telling our clients, speak with your land moment of making an offer. You know, communication, communication, communication.
Yeah.
You're right.
So what's next, guys?
So next,
Bum,
what do you
bum, bum.
think we could visit? Some,
Oh, yeah, we
big
have-
houses.
Do you want to
Because
see something nice?
Let's see something fabulous. Give
Yeah?
me fabulous. I
Okay,
only want
cool.
fabulous.
So
So we're gonna go to see a house located in Tanager Way. And,
In the Bird Streets.
Yeah.
okay,
One of my favorite neighborhoods in Sunset above Sunset Plaza.
You want to tell our listeners what are the bird streets?
Well, basically, you know, the streets are named after birds.
guess what?
And like celebrity, like, I mean, that whole neighborhood is all top level executives, celebrities that live in this particular street. I mean, the owner of Louis Vuitton is building a property there. And
So
so,
that's all above Sunset and in the West Hollywood area, just to locate it.
Okay, cool.
north of Sunset Plaza. Yeah, it's a tiny little pocket, huge, amazing panoramic views. This is why it's like prime real estate.
Cool. So let's see for the annonce. Boom.
All right.
28 million. It's not $28, 28 million.
So okay.
So this particular property is listed by two fabulous agents in our office. 4 bedrooms, 6 bath, over 10,000 square feet. The design that you're about to see is
Yeah, let's go.
unbelievable, amazing finishes, which is what it's all about right now. Like the finishes, the quality, the blend of different materials. Look
Yeah.
at JB right there.
So I just wanted to showcase some details. You see those pocket doors from the kitchen that are really cool. Before that, I showed you the countertops. It's all marble, not just the top, but also the side panels.
Yeah, the view.
The facades of the drawers are all marble. It's all custom. The view is amazing. Again, pocket doors right now. You see those amazing bay windows that fully hide inside the wall. They're really creating that indoor-outdoor lifestyle that we love so much in LA. Also wanted to focus on that pool. As you can see, it's a very skinny pool. So I don't think I can swim in that pool. I'm too big.
It's a
Totally
pool. It's a pool
can.
for fish.
Yeah. It looks like a long fish tank, but but that pool is pretty cool to do laps. Actually, it's a lap pool, as we say. So it's obviously for laps. I wanted to focus on that fireplace because, as you can see, it's
Wow.
fully suspended. Can you go back on that,
Yeah.
Phil? That's the great feat. I mean, the amazing technicity behind that fireplace. It's all suspended from the ceiling, and that marble,
Wow.
that piece of marble, is not light. Like, trust me. So that's a technical challenge that
And it's
builders-
backlit. It's
Yeah, on top of that, yeah, absolutely. So it's all a super nice technical challenge that they faced and achieved. So that's a really cool feature I liked.
and you also
There we go.
you have that living wall in the background too.
Yeah.
That's surrounded by greenery, and then so it gives you the privacy.
We see the downtown LA.
It's downtown ocean.
And we see a lot of nice homes, obviously, within our office. But this one had really specific finishes
Yeah.
that make it a little different, I thought.
So what are you doing now?
So right now that there's the monster heavy door hidden in the wall, and I just wanted to show it to you. It's super heavy. It doesn't look like it, but I was pulling with all my strength, and then when that door closes, it looks like a wall. You can't see it. You can't imagine there's
So
something
if you're having a
behind it.
party, which this area, like in this property, is an entertainer's home, you block off the master.
Absolutely. And then that
Primary,
that
sorry.
TV feature is also really cool. They were fixing it, so there's a piece of marble missing on top of the TV, but basically that TV goes inside the floor once you're done watching. So that's another well thought through detail from that house.
Canyon views and the lighting, the details of like the stones.
A cool bathtub, I thought.
Very
it's,
cool.
It's not glass.
Did you try
really.
it?
No.
It looks like glass.
It looks like glass, but I think for safety and strength. It's kind of a heavy plastic material. Again, marble and stone everywhere in the house. And then that super cool space down there. You want to say something maybe about that? That's a gym. Like I said, yoga area, Pilates machine, a Peloton for my European clients most of my European clients don't know about Peloton, which is weird. I think they are global now. But Peloton is like a service you can subscribe from. They sell the bike, obviously, and then they'll sell you a service where they'll have a real instructor on the screen with you, pushing you to bike faster, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, but
So that's the
not my thing. I need like the weights.
yeah.
Give me the hard stuff.
But a lot of our fancy homes have a Peloton now. It's kind of the standard in the gym.
Wow, look at this.
Yeah, ceiling, backlit, lighting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's just that atmosphere, creating that ambiance.
see those little stars on the ceiling. We can see it now, but it was earlier, I think.
Very Rolls Royce vibes.
Yeah, the wood paneling is a high end. That door led to private bedrooms in the entertainment area, which those rooms are usually used for friends staying over after party and things like that.
Okay, cool. So,
Philippe, what did you think about the house?
I think I may
We're spoiled.
make
We
an
see
offer
it.
in
Sold.
15 years.
And you got 2 agents here ready, ready for you.
I think
So-
we have a question.
Yeah, we have a question for you, Gloria, or for you, Chebe. Do you
Both of
think
us.
from the Jujitsula?
The Jiu-Jitsu LA.
Okay.
Okay, Jiu-Jitsu
The
LA.
So, Gloria, what do you think?
What do you think about this mansion tax? What is it going to do to potential sellers?
Quickly.
Well, okay, so huge ULA, which just passed, and we'll go again. We'll elaborate a little bit more in the next show, but quickly, it just went into effect April 1st. This huge tax. I don't even know why they call it the mansion tax, because it's affecting everything real estate over $5 million. But what we did see is that people were trying to do some fire sales and trying to, some buyers came up with some really good opportunities, and were able to negotiate something with sellers prior to the deadline of April 1st. So they scored some properties. Going forward, we're about to see what it's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of controversy with this. Is being fought, so we'll see how that goes. I guess is going.
Yeah, it's ongoing. Yeah. And it's going to go to high courts.
Yeah, it's
I'm not sure how long
starting.
it's going
I
to
think
take,
it
but
starts
yeah.
this summer, right? So potentially, that tax that is 4.5% over $5 million, and that goes up over 10 million. That you can get a refund should we win, right? Should it be reversed? But we'll see. There's still a lot of questions about that. It's new to all of us, but I know a lot of sellers, are like thinking, why should I even sell if I'm going to have to pay all of this tax and fees and property gains? So there's a lot to unload with that question. So Jiu-Jitsu, we will unload that in the next session for you.
Cool, great. So, guys, I think
That was our first
we
day.
learned a lot for the first.
A lot of
first
information.
time. And yeah, so we can say
You're going to become a real estate expert with us. Yeah.
maybe. Okay, so thank you very much.
So do you feel more educated? Like, do you feel good?
Oh yeah,
Are you
but
gonna-
it's easily to educate me to feel more educated.
Are you going to go pre-qualify this afternoon? Or what?
Yeah, well, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so see you next week, guys.
See you next week.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Same time, same place.
Same time, same place.
Thank you all.
And here we go. And follow us on whatsupinla.com. What this? It's you. And see you next week. Thank you very much.
All
Bye
right.
bye.
Adios.